Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 791st day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. Russia has lost approximately 462,980 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces reported. The number, which has not been independently verified, includes 1,040 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 13 tanks, 14 armored combat vehicles, 28 artillery systems, 1 multiple launch rocket system, 1 air defense system, 10 drones, 1 cruise missile, 57 vehicles, and 2 pieces of special equipment. The U.S. Senate approved the bill that provides $61 billion in aid to Ukraine. That's a vital aid to protect Ukrainians from Russian air attacks and improve the situation on the battlefield. The U.S. also announced a significant new military aid package for Ukraine valued at up to $1 billion. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. There were 84 combat engagements. The enemy launched a total of 13 missile and 51 airstrikes, carried out 16 multiple launch rocket system attacks on positions of Ukrainian troops and various settlements. The Ukrainian Air Force launched airstrikes on 11 concentrations of enemy troops. Also, Ukrainian Air Defense Forces shot down 1 Kh-59 guided air-launched missile and 3 reconnaissance drones of the invaders. The Ukrainian missile forces hit 1 concentration of troops of the Russian occupiers. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports. Deputy Defence Minister Timur Ivanov of Russia was arrested on corruption charges. He's accused of taking a large bribe and could face 15 years in prison. This is a big deal because Ivanov is high-ranking and seems to have close ties to top officials. It also contradicts Putin's recent call for a corruption-free elite. This arrest is the worst scandal to hit the Russian Ministry of Defense in over a decade. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. U.S. President Joe Biden announced on April 24 that the U.S. will begin sending military equipment to Ukraine, a few hours after signing a bill that will provide roughly $60 billion of assistance to Ukraine. The United States reportedly provided an unspecified number of long-range ATACMS missiles to Ukraine in March 2024, some of which Ukraine has already used to strike Russian targets in deep rear areas. The arrival of long-range ATACMS missiles in sufficient quantities will allow Ukrainian forces to degrade Russian logistics and threaten Russian airfields in deep rear areas, although months of delay may have provided the Russian military time to offset the potential operational impacts that ATACMS will afford Ukraine. Ukrainian forces reportedly conducted successful drone strikes against Russian energy and industrial facilities in Smolensk and Lipetsk oblasts on the night of April 23 to 24. Russian authorities arrested Deputy Defense Minister Timur Ivanov on April 24 on charges of accepting bribes, although other Russian sources reported that Ivanov is suspected of treason. Ivanov's arrest prompted Russian information space speculation about a new round of personnel changes in the Russian military and claims that the arrest is part of Kremlin factional conflicts. Russian ultranationalist mill bloggers largely celebrated Ivanov's arrest and used it as an opportunity to publicly criticize the Russian MOD. The Kremlin explicitly threatened Armenia if Armenia does not resume active engagement in the Russian-led Collective Security Treaty Organization and resume its pro-Kremlin alignment. Kremlin-appointed Children's Rights Commissioner Maria Lvova-Belova deliberately misrepresented recent Qatar-mediated negotiations between Russia and Ukraine as the first face-to-face negotiations on the return of Ukrainian children forcibly removed and deported by Russia, likely in an effort to minimize Russia's responsibility for the coordinated removal and deportation of Ukrainian children. Moldovan authorities filed a criminal case against Yevgenia Gutzel, the Kremlin-affiliated governor of the pro-Russian Moldovan Autonomous Region of Gagauzia, for campaign finance violations as Moldovan officials continue to warn about Russia's threat to Moldova. Russian State Duma Committee on Information Policy head Alexander Kinstein stated on April 24 that unspecified Russian officials will soon submit a draft law to the State Duma that would ban the extradition of foreigners who have fought in Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine if the foreigners face prosecution for their military service in their home countries. Russian forces recently marginally advanced near Avdiivka, Donetsk City, and Robotyne. In Zelensky's nightly video he covered several points. Firstly, the US will provide weapons and aid to Ukraine for the next 6 months. Zelensky thanked the US for its support and emphasizes the importance of stopping Putin's aggression. Secondly, he spoke about the goal to hold a peace summit in Switzerland and rally the world against Russia to achieve real peace. Lastly, Ukraine is working to strengthen its military and diplomatic efforts to achieve a strong position for negotiations. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.